I envision a world in which everything is teeming with robotics. A world in which we're driven by autonomous cars, in which our homes are built by robotic construction workers, and our food is cultivated, delivered, and cooked to perfection by robotic chefs. This world is right around the corner, and it will hit us sooner than we think. So, meet Yumi, my good friend who will be helping me out with the talk. I managed to sneak him in through the back door without even paying for a ticket. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, he may seem like a simple fella, but he's actually an early pioneer. He's not my personal pet or a digital clown. Sorry, man, you do look kind of funny. But he's actually an industrial robot, and one of the first truly collaborative robots in existence. Standing before you is a young child of the next industrial revolution. But to fully appreciate Yumi, we first have to look at its scary cousins. These giants are great at large tasks, like assembling and welding cars. But they are dangerous, and they can even be deadly. They're also very bad at small tasks, like assembling cell phones. The best way we know how to make these is by hand. And since labor is cheap, these are typically done in factories in Asia, under working conditions so terrible to necessitate suicide nets. Yeah, it's pretty sad. But all of this is changing very rapidly. You see, Yumi is built to be safe and to work with humans one-on-one on small tasks, like assembling electronics. It has cameras that allows it to see, and it can sense when an object is on the way of its arms and stop before hurting them. We're entering an era of unprecedented collaboration between humans and robots. Finally, we'll be able to get rid of sweatshops in Asia and replace them with modern factories here with these robots. Goods won't have to be shipped across the world. They could be made right here locally, perhaps in places like Bushwick. And why is it exactly that we care so much that our produce is locally sourced, but don't mind that our cell phones are built across the world? But industrial robots? Why should you care about industrial robots? Because this is just a beginning. Think of the first cell phones. They're big, bulky, expensive, useful only to a select few, mostly for doing insider trading. Granted, still looking pretty cool. But that's where we are in terms of collaborative robots. Because this is the first time we've managed to build a multi-purpose robot that won't accidentally hurt us. And similar robots will start entering our lives in different ways. For instance, many countries like Japan are heavily investing in home nursing robots for their aging populations. These are meant to carry the elderly around their apartments, but also address loneliness and depression by creating feelings of nurture. And as humans, we do have a tendency to see robots as living things as opposed to machines. In fact, that's probably what you are doing right now with Yumi. But is it okay for us to exploit these sensitivities of ours to replace human interaction? Is the alternative of loneliness that much better? These are some very hard questions, and we really have to do much more research in understanding human-robot interactions to even begin to answer these. But of course, whenever the discussion is about robots, one question keeps coming up. Are these robots here to steal our jobs? And there is a lot of anecdotal evidence saying that robotization will lead to mass unemployment. But I am not convinced, because we actually don't have that much hard data. For instance, you would expect that a country that invests heavily in industrial robots would have lost the largest number of manufacturing jobs. But that's not true. You see, Germany invested heavily in industrial robots in the 90s, way more than the US. But they actually lost fewer manufacturing jobs than the US. So a lot of this hysteria is really kind of unfounded, even for the simplistic jobs that appear in manufacturing. But of course, there will be some jobs that will be affected. And I think the question that we should ask ourselves is this: what is it exactly that makes us human? Is it really our mechanical abilities or our memory? I don't think so, because we're not even that good at these things. Yumi is so much better. And for the longest time, we had to rely on these faculties because we did not have any alternatives. So in a sense, we turned ourselves into machines. I mean, is this really the fullest of human potential? So in a sense, these robots are not just out to steal our jobs. They just want to get their jobs back from us and then liberate us so that we can focus on things that are more fulfilling, more creative, human endeavors. But if robots do decide to get into the arts, that's when we should really be worried. Thank you.